What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. Just notes that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30, and the offer ends in the end of March. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with the markets. As a reminder, for today, there's nothing else that's coming out. Tomorrow, we have initial jobless claims data, so we'll see what that leads to before market open. Besides that, everything else is going to be more minor until Friday. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's all that's coming out for tomorrow. So what's happening to the market now is that SPY has entered the chop zone between 604 and 608. I was correct that SPY would get very close to 608, close to all-time highs. But I said once we got here, be a little bit careful because now we're in this zone where we saw a lot of chop historically. If we break 608, we're looking for the 610 area. And if we lose 603, we're looking for a dump back down to the low 600s, all the way back down to 600 flat potentially. But right now, I think that we're in the middle between this range right here, and I think we're just going to spend a lot of time trading sideways until we see which way we break. So SPY is in a range for now, and we're going to likely maintain this range between 608 and 604 just for some time, and then we'll have to see what it does from here. That depends on some factors. Looking at the QQQ, the same thing happened. We saw a nice push to about 533. I was talking about this level yesterday, and also 535 would be a potential target if we broke that. We were not able to break 533 yet. So we're going to be looking for the support at 530, then 527, and we have resistance at 533 and 535. My gut tells me we could be dipping to 530 and we could just consolidate in this range for some time. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, we're just completely stuck, at least for now. I think there's a good chance we're just going to be stuck. So just keep that in mind. This is entering a chop phase. If there's a lot of chop in the markets, you want to be careful with trading options because that could really hurt the premiums of them. So just be careful with the QQQ. We pumped already so much, and I already called out this move. So in case you guys missed it, I would say just be very patient. Wait and see which way we break because we're entering a choppy phase, and the market needs more time to consolidate. On the IWM Russell 2000, we pushed up to about 230. We weren't able to crack past that, so we're dipping a bit. We're going to be watching the support at 227, and then this gap fill down here. I think we could be visiting the 227s, so be careful with this. Could be dipping a little bit more. On ES, we're in a chop zone as well. We hit just under 61.30. We have this resistance around 61.50, which is where we tend to chop around. We came close to it, so be a little bit careful with ES. We're approaching 61.30. We'll have to see how it reacts to this. If we can't hold above that, we're looking for a move back down to 6100 flats, and we'll see what happens. But we're in this chop zone. This is where we tend to chop a lot, and we're actually entering that zone right now. NQ has the same thing. I called out 22,100. That's almost exactly where we went to. Now we're not doing the best of jobs at holding above that. So we'll watch and see if 22,000 holds or not. If it doesn't hold, we could be dipping back down to about 21,800, which could drag the QQQ lower. So just be a little bit careful. For Bitcoin, there's a possible left shoulder, head and right shoulder. If we continue to hold above 104,000, we could try to bounce for 107,000. If we don't and we end up losing 102,500, we could be dipping lower. So watch to see if that ends up being the case or not. For Nvidia, we look a bit more bullish. If we lose 144, we could be dipping back down to 140. But as long as we're above 144, we could try to push for 150. Still looks bullish. Still looks very resilient. There's no sign of rejection on this. So we'll see how it ends up reacting. We could be forming a cup and handle. So I think it's doing a good job. But it's still bullish overall, at least for now. Tesla is looking a little bit weak compared to the markets, down 1.6%, despite the fact that SPY and the QQQ are in the green. However, despite the fact that we're red, we're still just barely holding this trend line of support. So we got to hold this trend line of support. We need to hold this, or else Tesla could dip a lot more. And let me just draw this out to make it very simple to understand, there's a possibility that this is like a left shoulder, this is a head, and this is like a right shoulder. And if Tesla loses the support at 414, we could be dipping all the way down to where this low is down here into the 390s. If not, if we're bullish, what you want to see is you want to see Tesla ride this trend line up. So if we dip to the trend line, but then we bounce and we slowly consolidate upwards, this would be bullish, and then we could continue to uptrend. So we'll see which way we end up going. It depends on how we react to this 50 EMA in the trend line for tomorrow. So it's going to be very, very big. Get ready to see a very, very big move. Apple's basing at 220. As long as this holds, we could be bouncing for 225. So as long as that holds, I think we could be seeing a small rebound on Apple. Let me just go over a few more. 300 is resistance on coin. We have the support at 285. We're kind of stuck in the middle. We could push to just under 300 before it rejects. So just be a little bit careful, despite the fact that we're forming a nice double bottom accumulation. So we're in the middle with coin. We're range bound. We're going to be waiting to see if we lose 284 to turn bearish, if we break 300 to be bullish. For Amazon, We have this resistance around 235, and we have support at 232.5, which was previous resistance. So we'll see how things end up going. If we lose the support, we could be dipping even lower, but we'll see about that. I think it's going to be retesting 232.5 or below, and we'll see if we bounce or not. It hasn't lost key support, but hasn't broken resistance. It's just stuck between 235 and 232.5. Meta pumped very nicely, but now we could be forming kind of like a cup and handle. We'll be watching to see if 620 holds. So we might be dipping to the lower 620s. So we'll see if we get that bounce. Look for a small dip here. Microsoft is still looking bullish. There's no sign of rejection yet unless we lose. Unless we lose like 442. I think we're still favoring that we want to get close to about 448 to 450. And we'll see if we reject or not. But so far we remain bullish. Google's on a nice uptrend so far, but there's somewhat of a slowdown. We're going to be watching to see if 200 could break. If it can't break that, we could be returning to 197. So watch that very closely. There's going to be a risk of this dipping just a little bit. So my view of the market is very simple. We pumped very nicely so far. The market hit all-time highs, but now we're in a position where, yes, we pumped so much, but you want to be very careful because we're in a chop zone that the market has entered, and simultaneously we're at some tough resistance. Looking at lots of big tech stocks, there's some tough resistance, and then also Tesla showing a little bit of weakness with lots of bad news that came out. So we'll see if we could hold support or not, or if we're about to see this larger left shoulder, head and right shoulder pan out for a big dump. We'll see, guys. We're barely at support on Tesla, so we have to be very patient. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Please have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours for one final update, and peace out.